Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff McConey, and with me in the booth is Kyle Rickey. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. For tonight's race, we are showing off some unfamiliar names to all of you. These are the fans trying to race their way into our event on Friday night. Only the top 5 will advance from this session, and we can expect to see a lot of fighting for that 5th transfer spot. Before you can fight to make Friday's show, you have to make it into tonight's race. Only 26 will advance into the feature event tonight, with the rest going home and without a chance to make the race Friday. The Horton Group has generously stepped up to sponsor this event, and we want to thank them for helping us bring this racing to all of you here tonight. These drivers will be behind the wheel of a car awfully similar to the SK Modified from a few weeks ago, but with one key difference: the power under the hood. These Tour Modifieds look identical to the SKs and run on the exact same chassis and even tires. When you take the hood pins out and take a look, you'll find another 215 horsepower, bringing these cars up to over 600 in total. That means you can expect to see a lot of these cars wanting to carry a lot of speed through the center of the corner and turning laps almost an entire second quicker here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Kyle, what are you expecting to see out of these drivers here tonight? And is there anyone that's catching your eye in particular from practice?
Yeah, there's a lot of familiar names at the top of the leaderboard, Jeff, here in this practice session. Aaron Plemons has been strong every week, no matter the car. Kyle Sisko is up there. Nicholas Hovey as well. A great field of drivers and fans looking to compete here tonight. 46 have taken time in practice, looking to become one of 5 that are able to transfer into Friday night's big show. But I tell you what, there's a lot of drivers that you can tell are unfamiliar with all of that horsepower. It has been a wild hour or so of practice here tonight. Hopefully they get it out of their system when we go racing here in just a few minutes.
Absolutely, and to give people an idea about this track, let's take a look at the track guide video provided by GSRC.
Welcome to Stafford. This half-mile oval was built in 1870 for a different type of horsepower, horse racing, and then automobile racing took over after that. This place is not as flashy or fancy as the half miles that the Cup cars go to today, but this busy oval can still put on a fantastic show full of action for the fans and intense competition for the drivers. Uniquely banked, it poses a challenge for all comers. Turns 1 and 2 are banked at 9 degrees, where turns 3 and 4 are banked a little less at 7 degrees. The apron here at Stafford is known for being very wide but flat. Only the bravest of drivers with the utmost grip can make passes down there. Short tracks equal close racing and usually leads to shorter tempers. Keeping calm at Stafford rewards the drivers. It's like the old racing expression: to finish first, you must first finish. Corner exit tends to be the most challenging place on the track, where the fast lane sweeps right out of the corners towards that wall that awaits you. Stafford is an old, worn-out surface, so managing the tires is also key to finding victory lane here. All in all, Stafford poses a fun challenge to drivers, and it's always sure to put on a great show. So settle in, buckle up, it's bound to be a great race.
Welcome back to Stafford Motor Speedway. It's a half-mile long, 4 turns, just like every other track out there that's an oval. But here's the thing. There's 2 different degrees of banking. 9 degrees in turns 1 and 2, and 7.5 degrees in turns 3 and 4. Keep in mind, that's not it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's quite difficult for those drivers out there. It makes a big difference in how the car handles. You drive turns 1 and 2 completely differently than turns 3 and 4. Lots of legendary drivers learned that lesson the hard way here at Stafford. Ryan Preece, Ted Christopher, Mike Stefanik, Bob Potter, Bugsy Stevens, Richie Evans, and more all had to cut their teeth and grow at this track here in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Right now, take a look at qualifying. Everyone's going out there to put down the fastest lap they can to set the lineup for the heat races, and the top 5 from each heat will advance. You don't make your way in through the heat race, you'll take part in the Consi, where we'll take the top 3 from each of our 2 events over there.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night, a very similar, in fact, an exact format tonight for our fans that we have on Friday night. So going to be a great night. We want to talk about, and we've said the fans a lot. There's a lot of real-world drivers participating in tonight's race program as well. We've talked about Kyle Casagrande, Richie Coy, Tyler Chadwick, who has found so much success in the SK Modifieds, and how about six-time late model track champion at Stafford Motor Speedway, Ryan Pisacco, in the field here tonight in his Eagle Leasing black and yellow number 3 tour type modified here this evening. So it's going to be fun to watch. We're calling them fans tonight, but there's plenty of real world drivers in the field here tonight that aren't necessarily active currently at Stafford that are racing here tonight.
One driver that is active, though, not at Stafford, over at Seekonk in a Legends car, is Mason Tessier. He's been quick. We saw him in the late model race here a couple weeks back. He was fast, but unfortunately, he did not come out in that race the way he was hoping. He was quick in practice, but not the fastest one. His strength seems to be in the late models here on iRacing. By no means a bad driver, but he's going to need a little bit more speed here if he wants to advance further. There's a lot of names on here, though, that are very popular on iRacing and very talented on iRacing. Some of the names that come out to me is someone that races the modifieds and the tour type modifieds all the time. Sean Ross, he is a very quick driver. I've seen him absolutely mop the floor with me in the SK modifieds and the tour modifieds as well. He's been competitive. But Jason Perkins, I remember when he first started racing probably about a year ago in the tour mods when I first saw him, and he's grown and improved quite a lot in that time. So keep an eye on the 49 and the 93. Both of those are very strong drivers here on iRacing.
There's Nick Farino on the screen, the snowplow getting his time in. Completing his 2-lap qualifying run. Right now, everybody is chasing Kyle Cisco. No surprise there over Tyler Wood, Nicholas Hovey, Aaron Plemons, and Steven Daddio into the final 45 seconds or so in this qualifying session. A couple of cars have yet to take time. Two waiting on Ronald Waite Jr. to take time. Nicky Vicarioli, legend car driver up here in the Northeast in the field here tonight. Another one of those real world competitors, Ron Midford, Michael Hopkins, a lot of familiar names in the race program here this evening. Again, all racing 80 laps in a tour type modified, trying to make the top 5 later tonight.
Time is running out in qualifying, just a few seconds left, so you'd better be putting down a lap right about now, or actually you probably should have left a while ago here, as qualifying has now wrapped up. All the cars are off the track. That sets the grid for heat race number 1. On the pole is going to be Kyle Cisco, is right there timing and scoring. Got a little bit messed up. Aaron Plemons starts in second. In third, Richie Coy. Kyle Casagrande, all-time winningest Dare car driver, starts in fourth. Ryan Libby in fifth. Jason Perkins, someone to keep an eye on, starts just outside the transfer spots in sixth. Kenneth Berry in seventh. Adam Kutu starts eighth. Mason Tessier, another very quick driver here on iRacing, in ninth. Zachary Sangermano in 10th. Dominic Abatiello in 11th. Michael Hopkins, 12th. Dennis Adamo, 13th. Brendan Spatafora, 14th. Nicky Vicarioli, is that correct?
You got it.
There we go. And starts 15th, and rounding out the field is Ronald Waite Jr., hoping to get from 16th all the way to 5th and advance to the feature.
5 cars to transfer. Everybody else goes to the last chance qualifying events. 10 laps the race distance. Qualifying heat number 1. Waiting on, looks like Jason Perkins to grid his car on the front straightaway. Looks like everybody else is there and ready to go for the pace and parade lap before we get the green flag. Again, Horton Group providing the sponsorship here tonight for our fans. Top 5 advance into Friday night's race program, joining all the real-world drivers of, again, the Horton Group, founded in 2000, an award-winning full-service construction, general contracting, and facilities maintenance firm specializing in developing and building a variety of projects in residential and commercial sectors. For more information, visit their website at hortongroupllc.com.
The Horton Group has stepped up to sponsor here tonight. Very, very exciting. Always love to see it. There's a lot of really good-looking cars out here in the field, though. The 49, Jason Perkins, has got Perkins Mule Farm, and I've always wanted to ask him if he really does own a mule farm. I've never gotten around to it, so maybe we can get some sort of confirmation later on. Keep an eye, though. Perkins Mule Farm trying to get that pony up to the top 5.
On the final pace lap now. and we'll be underway here in a moment. Cisco and Plemons, two drivers that have fared very well in these fan events. Aaron Plemons, in fact, one of the 5 drivers to transfer a week ago into Friday night's race program. Richie Coy and Kyle Casagrande in row number 2, riding on board with Plemons as the pace car hits the infield. We're set to go racing here for the first time. Tour Modifieds, Heat 1 here at Stafford.
Blasting down the front stretch, a little bit of a checkup there for the 19. That opens the door for Jason Perkins to get up front. These cars are very loose, and with so much power under the hood, you have to be careful on these tires. It's easy to spin out, and coming off the corner, Jason Perkins making the outside work, everyone else rolling the bottom.
There they come, back off turn 4 to complete lap 1. Trouble further back.
Trouble up front as well. Oh my goodness, somebody got into the wall going down the straightaway. A big wreck towards the back. Race control has thrown the caution though.
Let's go on board in a moment with Aaron Plemons rather, who is in the second spot. Aaron Plemons off turn 4, gets into the outside wall, right front, and a lot of right side damage on the Aaron Plemons car.
Let's take a look a little bit further back, though, at the wreck that happened in the back of the field. That's never something you want to see. But a little bit of 3-wide action up there, a little bit of fighting. Everybody, though, knowing they have to make it to the end and finish first before they I said that so wrong. They must first finish before they finish first. But take a look at this wreck in the back. A little bit of contact sends a whole lot of cars around. Everyone involved from about 8th on back.
So it'll be interesting to see how they re-rack them here for the restart. Kyle Cisco shown as the race leader. Aaron Plemons still in the second spot. May have some damage there from that contact off the turn 4 wall. Richie Coy, Kyle Casagrande, Jason Perkins rounding out the top 5.
In 6th, just outside, is Adam Kutu. Keep an eye on him. He needs to get just one more spot, but also someone on the move. Mason Tessier, he's all the way up to 8th right now. Nicky Vicarioli is up to 9th. So a lot of drivers working their way through the field. Being on the outside, though, puts you at a big disadvantage, though. You have to be down on the inside. Unless you're Brian Narducci, it's awful hard to make the outside line work here at Stafford.
And getting word that it's not Nikki behind the wheel, but her dad, Al Vicarioli, racing here this evening behind the wheel of that car, number 23, currently in the 9th spot.
Well,
field doubled up. Looks like go green in a lap from now.
Absolutely, we will. We're on lap 5 of 10, getting ready to go back green. Cross the line, double back up. Kyle Cisco has the advantage here. He just needs to cruise, and right now, all he's got to do. 5 laps remaining. It's going to be 4th the line when they take the green flag.
Yeah, this is my fears. A lot of these drivers, even with all the practice in the world, just not used to the power of these Tour Modifieds. So, again, practice was wild. We saw an opening first lap here in this heat race. That was kind of crazy. Saw 2 separate incidents. Let's see if we can run these final, what will be 4 laps, clean and green, as Kyle Cisco and Aaron Plemons bring the field off turn 4 back to the restart.
Kyle Cisco gets a great advantage, but put a side-by-side battle for 3rd. Someone down in the infield right now. But right now, Kyle Casagrande is just to the inside of the 7 car. Jason Perkins trying to take advantage. A little bit of contact between the 19 and the 7. Casagrande manages to keep it rolling. The 43 is looking. Adam Kutu gets blocked, though, by Kyle Casagrande. That is the battle for the last transfer spot. Adam Kutu needs a little bit more here if he wants to get to the feature without worrying about the Consis.
Adam Kutu in the 6th spot. Kyle Casagrande right now on the bubble in position number 5. Make that position number 4 ahead of Jason Perkins as they come back to the stripe. 2 laps to go, and everybody is chasing Kyle Cisco. Battle for position for that 5th spot. That's the best battle right now, Jeff.
It certainly is, and Jason Perkins is stuck up on the outside. Adam Kutu down on the bottom. 19 of Richie Coy got Jason Perkins up out of shape, pushing him up the track a little bit. Perkins now holding on, goes way wide, but Cisco all the way up towards the front is going to try and win this race. Coming off turn 4, not much competition there. He's going to come home the winner. But right there, the battle is still for 5th. We cannot forget about those boys.
Down to the line behind Cisco, Plemons, Coy, Casagrande, and Kutu will be the finals driver to get in this heat race, just getting by Jason Perkins at the finish. He'll be the first driver outside looking in, heading to the Consi, along with Ryan Libby, Mason Tessier, and several others in qualifying heat race number 1.
For heat race number 2, Tyler Wood is going to be starting on the pole, Steven Daddio in 2nd, Ray Fataruso in 3rd, Ryan Pisacco starts 4th, Justin Williams in 5th. Just outside, starting in 6th, is my other pick on the night, Sean Ross. So he's got one more spot to make up if he wants to make the feature. Richard Doughty starts 7th, Tyler Alkus in 8th, Trey Tomeno in 9th, Jason Woik, I think that's Woik, in 10th, Nick Farino in 11th, Ron Midford in 12th, Brandon Lindhall 13th, Timothy Baker 14th, and rounding out the field, Mark DeMaro Jr. in 15th. Someone to keep an eye on, though, is the Snowplow, number 44, and needs 6 more spots if he wants to advance to the feature. Let's see what he's able to do in 10 short laps.
Will be plowing his way up through the field, no doubt, car number 44. And he doesn't get offended if we call him Snowplow. I mean, it says it right there. You can see it on the front of the car, Snowplow. So let's see if he can make his way to the front of the field, or at least into the top 5, starting deep in the field in 11th.
We call him Snowplow. Maybe he can steamroll his way to the front of the field. We'll see if that will work out for him. Right now, though, Justin Williams knows he has to defend that spot, not let anyone get around him if he wants to advance to the future. Keep an eye, though, on the 5th place spot. That's where we saw the best battling last race. We'll see if we see the same here in heat race number 2.
Lined up, ready to go. Back straight away. Pace car will head to the infield here shortly, as Tyler Wood and Steven Daddio set to lead the field to the green flag. Ray Fataruso and Ryan Pisacco, the late model champion, outside row 2 as we're coming to green.
3rd row was the last row to get a good jump all the way behind, though. They managed to get a little bit checked up. Moving down to the bottom is Sean Ross. That puts the 3 car up to the outside. A little bit of trouble there. Everyone fighting. They're 3 wide for 5th. Think better of it. There goes the 6th trying to hold on to it.
Wow, they fan out 3 wide, but they'll straighten it out. Ron Midford, it looked like, got the outside wall, and Trey Tomeno had an issue on that opening lap as well. He's actually going to gain a couple of spots up to 11th. Midford, the only car involved in that turn 1 incident, is able to continue as Tyler Wood leads off turn 4. Daddio 2nd. Fataruso in 3rd.
Nelson Williams in 4th. Let's look on board with Pisacco, though. He's sitting in 6th, looking to get up and pass Sean Ross. I can tell you from experience, he's not someone that likes to give up any position, let alone the final transfer spot. Keep an eye here, though, and right now the caution is out. DeMaro in the back was involved, as well as the 4, Brandon Lindhall.
So a couple of cars get together. We'll take a look at the replay here in a moment. What brought out this first caution of qualifying heat race number 2, and it happened well outside of the transfer spots, about the 12th and 13th positions on the racetrack as they race off of turn 2 and up the back straightaway. Wow, Lindahl gets hooked. And up and over went Mark DeMaro. I believe that was DeMaro that went up onto his roof.
It was indeed DeMaro that went up and over, but Brandon Lindhall looks like he came up the track a little bit into that 40 car. Man, that's a rough deal to have. Right now, though, up in first is Tyler Wood. We're on lap 5 of this event, looking to finish out. It's only 10 laps. We'll see what happens here. Sean Ross is in the final transfer spot. Ryan Pisacco right on the outside. Richard Doughty, too. The snowplow Nick Frolino all the way up to 8th. He's gained 3 spots so far. Only needs 3 more if he's going to advance here tonight without having to worry about the Consi.
Don't forget, we do this all over again with a lot of real-world drivers. In fact, mostly real-world drivers in our All Phases Renovations night on Friday, part of that e-racing series here from Stafford Speedway. It has been great competition thus far. The first 4 weeks were in the SK Modifieds. Then we did a week of street stocks, late models last week, and now tour-type modifieds on Friday night, expecting another great field of drivers for that 80-lap race. And all the drivers here tonight in our Horton Group prelim night for the fans are looking to race on Friday night, and we only take 5 drivers from this evening's 80-lap feature event. that get to compete against all the real-world guys in a couple of nights from now.
That is everyone's goal, is to advance, but first you gotta make the feature. Only 26 cars will make it here. Sounds like a lot, but when you have 60 people trying, that's over half of them being sent home. Someone that just checked into the server, though, to do a little observing on his own, Ronnie Williams has now logged into the server. He's not racing, just watching, and probably trying to pick up any information he can. Maybe he'll join us on Friday, who knows, but we won't know that until Friday night. What we have to focus right on right here and right now is this race and this restart as Tyler Wood gets ready to take him back to the green.
On board, it looked like with Justin Williams as they come off of turn 4 back to the green flag, and just a handful of laps to run, 3 to go for Tyler Wood. The race leader gets the jump over Daddio, Fataruso, Sean Ross. Ryan Pisacco trying to work his way into a top 5 position a battle with Williams.
Man, Ryan Pisacco got into Williams there. We're going to see if anything comes from race control, but Justin Williams now way further back. Look at the snowplow. Nick Ferlino, he's driving that car in hard, trying to get to that back bumper. Ryan Pisacco, that's the battle for the 5th transfer spot.
And they're coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Pisacco has it. Ferlino wants it. Williams gets back into line in 7th as Tyler Wood leads the field off of turn number 2 for the final time here in qualifying heat race number 2. Daddio 2nd, Fataruso 3rd, then it's Sean Ross. And then that battle for 5th as we focus on the leader off turn 4. Tyler Wood will win heat race number 2. Pisacco, Ferlino battling for position number 5. Give it to Ryan Pisacco for now, finishing in the 5th spot.
That will put in heat race number, in heat race number 2, our advancing drivers are going to be Ryan Pisacco, Sean Ross, Ray Fataruso, Stephen Daddio, and Tyler Wood. Heading back to the Consi is Nick Ferlino, the snowplow, Justin Williams, Tyler Alkus, and more. It's not what you want to have here tonight. You want to not have to worry about racing your way in. But right now, Nicholas Hovey will start in 1st, Tyler Chadwick in 2nd, John Andrade starts 3rd, Ryan Burgundy starts 4th, Gerard Giordano starts 5th, Anthony Bello in 6th, Brian Kramer in 7th, Christopher Monroe in 8th, Greg Estelle 9th, Ryan Flores in 10th, Sean Okula starts 11th, Frank Perez in 12th, Jacob Kutu in 13th, Michael Jaworeki in 14th, and that will round out your field. 7 rows of drivers here, only 5 will advance.
14 looking to advance, only 5 will. As you mentioned, everybody else will go to the LCQs. Nicholas Hovey, again, a real-world driver, started in Bandoleros a couple of years ago up here in Connecticut. Tyler Chadwick, also running SK Modifieds up here. So John Andrade, Ryan Briganti in row number 2, Giordano in the 15 car will start in 5th, Anthony Bello in position number 6. So some really strong competitors in the first 3 rows as you see the field begin to roll off of turn number 2 under the Napa Auto Care Center billboard and up the back straightaway about a lap and a half away from the start.
Take a look at this fantastic camera view. Cameras are provided by Dougie Beard, but Sean Ambrose, behind the scenes, our director, is doing a fantastic job utilizing them. Show some love in the chat over there to the people working behind the scenes. That's what we want to see here as we get ready for heat race number 3 to take the green flag.
The technology behind this stuff still amazes me, and that looked like a pretty amazing drone cam. Coasting over the front stretch and then over the back stretch and through the trees, off behind the back straightaway. So cool. As we get set to go green, Nicholas Hovey, Tyler Chadwick, 5 advance, 14 to take the green flag.
Tyler Chadwick is on the outside trying to make it work. We'll see how that line fares. We've seen the inside absolutely dominate. The 16 at the green flag gets a good jump, but they're side by side going into turn 1. Side by side, 4 rows deep, trying to make it work and come out clean. Oh, the 57 gets a little bit loose, checks up, the 13 gets into the back bumper. Everyone manages to keep it pointed straight, though.
Not sure how they all made it up the back straightaway through turn number 3, but they did. In fact, they're all going to complete, I don't want to say it too early, but they're all going to complete lap number 1, led by Nicholas Hovey and Tyler Chadwick, 1 and 2, and they've been able to break away from the battle for 3rd. Couple cars get together back straightaway. They were running for about the 5th spot. So we'll see who they are in a moment. Looked like Ryan Briganti might have been one of them in car 13.
He was. Anthony Bello was the other. That moves Brian Kramer and Gerard Giordano up to 4th and 5th. So the 15 sits in 4th. Christopher Monroe is the next car looking to race his way in. The 22 right on that back bumper, about a car length off of Brian Kramer. But Kramer has the advantage. He just needs to hold that inside line and not let Christopher Monroe around.
That's key, is holding the inside line, not sliding up, not opening the door, and letting somebody put their nose in there to either take the spot or perhaps cause a wreck. Hovey, the leader, watching Brian Kramer and Christopher Monroe battle for spot in 4th as we look for the battle for the top spot. It has tightened up. Hovey, Chadwick, Andrade, and Giordano into the top 4 as well.
All of them are fighting for that position. Let's take a ride along with Chadwick, though. You take a look there. Not too far ahead is that Nicholas Hovey machine as he gets wide going into turn 1, all the way up the racetrack. Put the 45 of Tyler Chadwick to the lead. A great move coming off turn 2, and now he's holding Hovey to that outside line, not giving him the line, trying to get the 57 up next to him. Doesn't work out that way, but Tyler Chadwick now to the lead. Hovey in 2nd and Andrade in 3rd. Battle for 5th is not heating up too much right now. Brian Kramer's still holding on, but keep an eye on the front here. Just a car length separates these two leaders.
Chris Monroe, the first car outside looking in, as it looked like a couple of cars are jamming up at the rear of the field in turn number 3 as we continue under the green flag as Chadwick leads. Battle for the 5th spot is on. Kramer, Monroe, nose to tail with 2 to go.
Lap cars on the bottom. Let's take a ride along with Monroe, though. See how close he gets on corner entry. He looks low. It's blocked. No room there. Looks high. Not enough speed up there. Now coming off turn 2, a car length gap between the two. No time for a bottom shot move here. 2 laps to go. Monroe needs to make something happen, and soon. He's got 1 lap left.
Yeah, final lap. White flag is out as they cross the stripe. Chadwick's the leader. Andrade in the 3rd spot. Nicholas Hovey taking the 2nd spot, or trying to. Now Andrade takes it back off of turn 2, but off of turn 4, Tyler Chadwick will win the 3rd qualifying event for the Tour Type Modifieds here tonight. Andrade in 2nd, Hovey in 3rd, Giordano 4th, and Brian Kramer, it looks like, will get that 5th and final transfer spot. Christopher Monroe will have to go to the last chance race.
Monroe, Okula, Perez, all drivers that are going to have to race their way in now. Heat race number 4 is coming up. Actually, we're only running 3 heat races tonight. Yeah, there is no heat race number 4. We had room for it, didn't end up running it. So now Consi event number 1 on the pole is Jason Perkins starting 2nd, Christopher Monroe, Justin Williams in 3rd, Mason Tessier in 4th, Frank Perez 5th, Jason Woik in 6th, Kenneth Berry starts 7th, Anthony Bello in 8th, Richard Doughty in 9th, Ronald Waite Jr. in 10th, Ryan Burgundy 11th, Ron Midford in 12th, Michael Hopkins takes the grid 13th, Michael Jaworecki in 14th, and Brandon Lindhall will round out the field in 15th.
And that means several of these competitors will miss the event here this evening. Again, only 26 make it into the feature event later this evening. So I'm trying to do the math here. How many are we taking out of this Consolation event?
We are taking 5 out of this Consi.
Okay.
So
right.
25 will, per iRacing's calculations and everything that it runs, 5 people are going to advance. So it's going to be a 25 car field right now.
Perfect.
This just got a whole lot more interesting because that's one less driver that's not going to make it tonight, I think.
All this action tonight brought to you by the Horton Group, as they have been the proud sponsor of all of our Wednesday night fan preliminary events as we fill the final 5 slots for Friday night's race program. Want to give Rich Keeter, a longtime Stafford Motor Speedway official, in fact, official about everywhere up here in New England, a shout out. He is watching from home. Also, one of our cohorts down in the pits, Nicola Rose, says hello, and she is watching here this evening as well.
Always great having some of the Stafford family member tune in, but thank you to all the fans that are tuning in as well. All 160 of you so far. Absolutely phenomenal to have you out here on a Wednesday night. We hope you're staying safe, hope you're staying healthy, and we hope you're enjoying this racing. I see that former Whelen Modified Tour driver Hot Pockets Brian Kramer is in the big show. I don't know if that's in reference to the Hot Pockets from your microwave or if that's some name. I've never heard that nickname for Brian Kramer before, but hey, whatever works.
That's what I had for lunch today. Hot Pockets. Love
Really?
it.
I did not get a chance to eat any lunch today because, as all the students out there watching know, it's finals week, and I have one more fluid power final to take after this is done. It's going to be great.
You sound thrilled as we are set to go green here in Consolation event number 1. Jason Perkins, Christopher Monroe, two drivers that just fell short in their respective heat races. On the front row here in this Consolation event, 10 laps the distance, and it will be Monroe that gets the advantage. They are 3 wide further back.
They were 3 wide. There goes Frank Perez spinning down through the back stretch grass. He is in trouble now. No caution for that, though. They were 3 wide, but no more. Jason Perkins now out to lead. Mason Tessier all the way up to second from fourth. Made a great move there going into turn 1. Christopher Monroe, Justin Williams, and Ryan Burgundy are your final transfer spots. Jason Woik, though, in that 151 is not the transfer spot right now. Anthony Bello has now worked his way up to 6th, fighting for that 5th position. Now he's up to 5th on that last lap. So put the 151 in position to strike, and he needs to gain a little bit of ground first.
Racing up the back straightaway, Bello in 5th, Wolk in the 6th position. Now Monroe advances a spot, make that Burgundy. He is up to 3rd as they cross the stripe. Good run for Ryan here in position number 3 on the inside of the racetrack. Chasing Jason Perkins, the race leader, Mason Tessier in that 2nd spot.
Right now, Woik is loving what he's seeing up ahead, but Christopher Monroe, the view you're about to see, man, he is not liking this at all. He's stuck up on the outside, and he is really at risk of falling out of the transfer spots. He needs a good runoff, too. Doesn't get it. That puts Wolf to the inside. Going to make a bottom shot move here. A little bit of contact. Uses the Nerf bar to push the 22 up the track. Trying to get that spot, but he's not quite clear yet. That's a battle for 5th place, the final transfer spot.
And Monroe has it. Wolk to the outside.
No.
They get together, and now the battle for the lead further up is on. Tessier and Perkins side by side for the top spot. Burgundy quickly closing in 3rd, and then we'll see how things shuffle out for 5th as the caution flag comes out.
This is where things get interesting right now. Jason Perkins had just lost the lead to Mason Tessier, and a few seconds later, the caution came out. Now, iRacing goes off of when the caution flag flies. That is when the leader is determined. So Tessier will be your leader. At Stafford, it's the leader of the last lap. Not here on iRacing. If it were the way the Stafford does it, Perkins would be your leader. Right now, though, that 42 is going to lead the field back to green when they go. But that caution, man, I think that was the 151 and the 22 getting together. That was a big hit. The 151 laid on the 22.
And 151 is being scored, looks like out of the event, and will fall to the tail end of the field. So tough break there for Jason as he was running in a transfer spot. Right now, Justin Williams becomes the final driver to transfer in on the bubble in the 5th position, behind Anthony Bello in 4th. In the 51, Ryan Burgundy in the 13, the 49 of Jason Perkins, and Mason Tessier in the 42 as they come down to the stripe. Laps ticking away. It's going to be a shootout here at the end.
A green-white checkered finish. We have up to 3 attempts, but hopefully we don't need to use any more. This is the first of 2 Consis. The top 5 are going to advance, not the usual top 3. The number of drivers we had, we only needed 3 heat races, and now only 2 consolation events to run here tonight. Your leader right now, Mason Tessier, sitting in 2nd, Jason Perkins. That's going to be a great battle. They were side by side for a couple laps there, trying to see who would come out the leader. Mason Tessier got the lead, and now that puts Jason Perkins to the outside. We'll see what he's able to do.
Want to give a quick shout out while we get I think we're going to get one to go this time. Our sponsor watching tonight, Kenny Horton. Taking time, obviously, to watch the event here tonight. And again, we want to thank him, a longtime competitor at Stafford Motor Speedway. Want to thank Kenny and the entire, all the folks at the Horton Group for their sponsorship here this evening of our prelim night for the race fans trying to race their way in to the, as Ben Dodge would say, the big dance on Friday night when all the real world competitors are in action. So I want to thank Kenny again for his involvement here in this iRacing E-Series that Stafford Motor Speedway is putting on Wednesday nights.
Well, if we are borrowing expressions from our favorite announcers up in the booth at Stafford,
I opened the
every
door
single
for you,
Friday
huh?
night, you did. You opened the door, the bucklerisms. But I'm most excited to see who's the tail that wags the dog here. Coming to this restart, is it going to be Mason Tessier, Jason Perkins, Ryan Burgundy, or Anthony Bello can both throw their hats in the mix? We're going to see what happens here. They're getting ready to come back green.
Tail that wags the dog. That one has been around for a number of years from Ben Dodge. He's been the trackside announcer at Stafford and in the booth for a long time. I won't say exactly how many years. We go back to the green flag. Tessier, Perkins, Briganti, 1, 2, 3. Back to turn number 2.
You are exactly right. The top 3 are all lined up, but it looks like advantage to Tessier. He's pulling away a little bit. Jason Perkins, though, gets right up to that back bumper, carries a lot of speed through the center, loses a lot of speed. He has to check up through it, and now on corner exit, he lost some speed. He's driving it in a lot harder than Tessier is, driving it in deeper. Right now for the win, that 42 car is going to come off turn 4. Bottom shot move by Ryan Burgundy. Jason Perkins is just going to give it to him. They don't need to do anything too crazy. They just need to finish top 5. Tessier wins it. Perkins in second. Ryan Burgundy in third. Anthony Bello in fourth. Justin Williams is going to be your final transfer. That sends Doughty, Monroe, Lindahl, Midford, and more all home, not making the feature.
Yeah, Hopkins, Perez, Barry also not making this main event here tonight with still 5 more slots to fill with the second Consolation event coming up next. And I believe you have the starting lineup.
I do indeed. Starting in first is the Snowplow, Nick Farino, Ryan Libby in second, Sean Okula third, Tyler Alkus in fourth, Dominic Avatello in fifth, Ryan Flores in sixth, Timothy Baker seventh, Nicky Vicarioli in eighth, Greg Estelle in ninth, Trey Tomeno in 10th, Brendan Spadafora in 11th, Jacob Kutu 12th, Mark DeMoro Jr. in 13th, Dennis Ademo will round out the field in 14th. Actually, Zachary Sangermano will be the last starter here in the 15th spot.
Sangermano has his work cut out for him after trouble in the qualifying race earlier. Starts shotgun on the field here in the final Consolation event, the final 5 spots to be filled in tonight's 25-car, 80-lap Tour Type modified feature event sponsored by the Horton Group. Farino starting on the pole, doesn't have a lot to plow in front of him right now. On the pin for the start of this event, Ryan Libby to his outside. So this is going to be fun. A lot of big names in the field here as well. We have Flores in the field, Vicarioli, Greg Estelle, Tomeno, who has yet to show up on the grid. So we'll see if Trey is able to join here before they go green in a lap and a half.
It's not much time if you've walked away from the computer. You got to get back quick right now. Get that car fired up and rolling. Nick Ferlino, like you said, not really much in front of him to snowplow through, and maybe that's a good thing for all the competitors. I'm kidding, of course. He's done a great job tonight, racing very hard. He's on the pole for this race here. 5 will advance. We'll see how this race ends up going for him, though.
Tough competition alongside Ryan Libby, Sean Okula, row number 2, along with Tyler Alkus, and Ryan Flores there in the 3rd spot, car number 24. Don't count him out as we are set to go green. Looks like this time everybody that is going to join has joined. I don't see Trey Tomeno out there. Mark DeMoro, here's Trey. He just popped up on timing and scoring and now left again. So not sure if he's out there or not. We'll find out here in a moment as we go green.
We've gotten word that the top 6 will advance from this race so that there will be 26 cars in the field. So this is going to be the top 6 advancing as we understand it. The snowplow out front right now takes the green flag. Trouble at the beginning. They're 3 wide already. Who's going to back out of it? The 5 car decides not to. And there goes the snowplow getting turned up at the front. No caution yet. There it is from race control.
And Ryan Libby, slow start in the outside lane, and then something happened with Farino on the bottom. He got tagged, jammed the inside up, and now Libby will escape with the race lead as the caution flag flies from the starter stands. Have we named the flagman yet here?
Well, that's Rich.
It can't be Keeter, can it?
It could be. Hey, you
Okay,
never know.
all right.
You never know who's underneath the helmet. It could be anyone.
All right. So we'll call him Rich. As we go under the caution flag here. 9 laps to run. Caution laps will count in this LCQ. And as Jeff mentioned a moment ago, the top 6 advance. Ryan Flores right now in that 6th and final transfer spot after 1 green flag lap. Tyler Alkis with the fastest lap there in the opening circuit at 33.0 seconds. So wasn't a full speed lap though. Not a true fast lap by the time they got up to speed and then came back around to the caution flag. The Carioli right now outside looking in. We believe that is Al behind the wheel, not Nikki, as our timing screen says. Dennis Adamo, Timothy Baker, Greg Estelle, all needing to move up a couple of spots, along with former race leader and pole sitter Nick Farino.
Nick right now is going to be a little bit further back, starting in 13th now on this restart. He's got a lot of ground to make up. That's 7 spots to gain just to make it into this feature race. That's a very tall task in just a couple laps here. He's going to have to make something happen with that front end.
Gonna have a lot of work to do, not a lot of time to get there with each passing caution lap. That is one less lap that number 44 car has to race his way up through the field. Should get the one to go signal this time.
Right, I was going to say, it's looking like it's going to be about 5 laps that he'll have, so he needs to gain about a position a lap. That's very difficult.
Might have to have some help with some other guys getting into trouble in front of him. We'll see. And it looks like the lights remain on. Not seeing anybody get doubled up, so we'll go at least one more lap before we get back under the green flag. So it'll be 4 laps to run. Again, all the action tonight sponsored by the Horton Group. Kenny's watching here this evening. Again, the company founded in 2000, an award-winning full-service construction, general contracting, and facilities maintenance firm specializing in developing and building a variety of projects in the residential and commercial sectors. Give them a visit on the web at HortonGroupLLC.com. As we get one to go, caution lights are out.
Caution lights are out. They're lined up side by side. Nick Ferlino all the way at the back now. He's going to have to race his way to the front. Ryan Libby, though, he is currently up there, started in 2nd, sitting in 1st. He's got all the space in the world in front of him. Let's see what he's able to do with it. The pace car dives in, and they're coming off awfully quick off of turn 4.
Pace car is in. Green flag will fly. Alkis and Libby. Libby with the jump in that purple entry, number 46, brings him back to turn 1. Alkis quickly falls into 2nd. Okula in 3rd as they get into it behind them outside of the top 5. And it looks like only the top 5 remain at the front. And there's a big gap from 5th to 6th. Got a couple of cars around. We'll get a look at the replay, Jeff.
Taking a look back at the replay, that was just tire spin. It might have been Greg Estelle. Yes, it was. Greg Estelle just spun the tires. A little bit too much power under the hood on that restart. Goes around, and now that wrapped up Nick Ferlino. Oh my goodness, big wreck there at the start. Let's take a look at Estelle and what all happened.
I thought Ferlino was going to get through that. He did not. And Estelle, it looked like got minimal damage. As we going to realign them once again. Ferlino still in the 12th spot, and we'll have at least, one more shot. How do they talk about the overtime rules? For those new to iRacing and this format, Jeff, what is it, 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish for any event?
So there are 3 green-white checkered attempts, but right now, Race Control, Dylan Kopech, that name sounds familiar. He drives the M6 out of Palmer, Massachusetts in the Tour Mod Series. So he is controlling right now when the cautions fly. He's got 3 attempts at a green-white checkered these drivers do. So right now, we're on attempt number 1 of 3. When they go back green, they get 1 lap around, the white flag comes out, and after that, the next flag ends the race.
So very similar to what we see in the real world in NASCAR's National Series, and when the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour visits the Stafford Motor Speedway. Although I think the 3 attempts rule that left a while ago for most series. Now it's like you mentioned a moment ago. Once the leader gets the white flag, no matter how many attempts it takes, the next flag ends it. But for timing purposes here, um, and again, after watching practice and some of the heats, 3 attempts will probably at one point need all 3 of those attempts. And if there are any cars left beyond the 3rd attempt, those will probably be the cars that transfer into the main event. But working attempt number 1 right now, Libby, Alkis, Okula, Kutu, they run in the front 2 rows, and those are the front 4 cars on your screen right now. Abatello rounding out the top 5.
There's talk of a single file restart here. Not sure what race control has decided on. What they do, though, with a single file restart is instead of lining up side by side, it's just one long row. They do that to try and clean up the racing. Not always a necessary step. Let's see. It looks like nobody's doubling up. It's going to be a single file restart here for these drivers.
And we saw that Friday night last week in the late model feature. Had a tough time in the first 20, 25 laps getting together some consecutive green flag laps. They singled out, and the second half of that race, once we went green, pretty much went caution free. I don't think we had a yellow after we did a single file restart. So let's hope that happens here with 2 laps to go, single file, and Ryan Libby leading the way.
I don't recall any cautions in last week's race. I'm pretty sure I said it'd go green from start to finish, and I'm pretty sure it did. I don't think anything at all happened. Right now, though, Ryan Libby way out front. He's got all the space in the world ahead of him. From 14th to 6th is Dennis Ademo. Started dead last in this race, and now he's all the way up to 6th. He's in the last transfer spot. Nicky/Alva Carioli behind, trying to advance, but right now the white flag's out. It's time to move. He needs a mistake in front in order to advance.
Our eyes are on Ryan Libby, car number 46 off of turn number 4 for the final time. He will win consolation event number 2 over Tyler Alkis in the 2nd spot, Okulo in 3rd. Then it's going to be Jacob Kutu, Dominic Abatello, and Dennis Adamo rounding out the top 6 that advance. Vicarioli, the first driver to miss the feature event in this final LCQ.
So now there's a 5-minute warm-up for these drivers. Kyle, what are you expecting to see here in this race?
I think we're going to see what we saw in the late model race on Friday night. We're going to see several caution flags early, and then we're going to have that single file restart that, in the real world, no one really likes, but sometimes you have to do it just to kind of get the race under control. And I think in the second half of this 80-lapper, we'll see a long green flag run. We'll see a lot of the same drivers toward the front of the field that we have seen the last couple of nights. I expect big things from guys like a Tyler Chadwick to run well here this evening. Aaron Clemens looked good. Ryan Briganti looked good in his heat. Also Ryan Pisacco. So it's going to be a fun race. Kyle Casagrande obviously a part of this as well. So it's going to be a fun event here in a little bit. There's the final warm-up session taking place right now. Again, all of this, Jeff, leads us to a big night 48 hours from now when the real world drivers hit the racetrack, and there are 5 fans in tonight's race looking to be a part of the fun in just a couple of nights. Tonight, sponsored by the Horton Group. Friday night, all phases renovations, and there's a purse attached to Friday night's race as well.
There is. It's going to be a great night of racing, an invitational event. Always fun to see. I've heard a lot of feedback about this setup that they're running. Right now, it looks like it's leading to some pretty good racing. We'll see how the feature event goes here tonight. I'm not going to make any predictions. 80 laps, though, around this Stafford Speedway. Top 5 make it to Friday night. Let's see who's able to get it done.
Flicking off laps here in practice. Tyler Wood looking good right now in car number 50. John Andrade, the 3rd in the lead spot right now. Stephen Daddio now moves up to 2nd with a good lap. Richie Coy, Kyle Casagrande. Again, these are just single lap times, not necessarily the favorites in tonight's main event. Ryan Libby, who just came off a LCQ win, currently 6th fastest. So it's going to be fun. Jeff, it's amazing to me how this series has come together. You have been a part of it since day number one. That trial week that Teddy Hodgson was able to pick up the win. And then the series really formed and took off week number two. Then we had, 3 weeks worth of modifieds, and then street stocks, late models. This has been really fun, and we talk about it every week. Stafford has really made the best of a very tough situation in bringing the Stafford community together. Now twice a week.
Now twice a week, you're absolutely right. We started off in the beginning. It's been a great time ever since it started out. I remember getting the call, or really it was a text from Paula Root saying, hey, we're making this happen. I've been pushing them to try and get on iRacing for the longest time, and finally it all ended up coming together at the perfect time. So you hate the circumstances that caused this, that we have to do this over iRacing, but at the same time, it's so much fun. I've really enjoyed being a part of it, and the crew behind the scenes, and you as well, Bonsa. It's been fantastic working with everyone. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
And if you need your real world racing fix when you're not watching us on Wednesday and Friday nights, check us out. Stafford Speedway's YouTube channel, updated content, I think every day. We did a lot of great, Bonza produced some great driver profile videos during the off season where you can really get to know a lot of the competitors that race every Friday night at Stafford. The classic races, I believe there's one classic race added to the Stafford YouTube channel every day, going as far back as I think 2002, featuring all the different divisions that compete at Stafford. So that'll be fun. The Bottom Shop podcast, 10 episodes strong right now. Some of the subjects on the show in the first 10 shows have included Ryan Priest, Mike Christopher, Rick Fuller, Jerry Pearl, Doug Kobe, Lisa Arute, as you can get to know kind of what goes on behind the scenes of the Stafford Motor Speedway during the week in preparation of events. A lot of great content. Check them out, Stafford Speedway on YouTube, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. That's very key, so you can be alerted to when all those different shows and races are posted. StaffordSpeedway.com, also a great place to get the latest news from what goes on at Stafford Motor Speedway as far as any updates that may be coming forward as we get into the summer months. As practice now are wrapping up, John Andrade, the third, the winner of practice, Kyle Sisko, no surprise there, up in the top three, along with Ryan Bergenti, as the field now will begin to grid on the front straightaway. 80 laps, this main event, Jeff.
We are now back getting ready for the feature event. Starting off on the pole is Kyle Sisko, Tyler Wood in second, Tyler Chadwick in third, Aaron Clemens fourth, Stephen Daddio in fifth, John Andrade in sixth, in seventh, Richie Coy, Ray Fataruso in eighth, Nicholas Hovey in ninth, and Kyle Casagrande will round out your top 10.
Those are the first 5 rows. We'll go deeper in the field. These guys have some work to do. They include Ryan Pisacco and Ryan Bergenti, Ryan Libby and Justin Williams, Gerald Giordano and Jason Perkins, also Sean Ross, Anthony Bello, Kenneth Berry, and Richard Doty, rounding out the top 20 starters.
Starting in 21st is Sean Okula, 22nd, Anthony Bello. Jacob Kutu takes the grid 23rd, Justin Williams 24th, and Dominic Abitello starts off 25th. I guess we were right. Only 25 ended up advancing for this race. 25 advanced and take the grid. Kyle Sisko, the first of them to do so. He's in the lead.
Lined up, ready to go. It'll be, let's see if they're coming to green this time. Looks like they are. Lights are off. 80 laps the distance. Tort Tight Modifieds here tonight. Bit of a prelim sponsored by the Horton Group. What we're going to see on Friday night with our real-world drivers. As I say that, we're going to take one more additional parade and pace lap before the start of tonight's 80-lap feature event. The virtual fans waving their hats in the grandstands as we are on now, 1 to go.
If you listen very closely, you can hear the theme from Shaft playing in the background as we get ready here to now come to the green flag. Kyle Sisko in first, Tyler Wood in second, Tyler Chadwick in third. Your top 3 are going to be fighting off right here at the start. Coming to the green flag, though, off of turn 4, Cisco leads the way in that 6x2 machine. Coming to the line, here they come. Cisco gets hard on the gas, but a checkup on the outside, literally being pushed by the 67 is Tyler Wood, but now they fan out. They think about going 3 wide with the 57. They think better of it. Tyler Chadwick with a run to the bottom on Tyler Wood, making it happen. Now Cisco to the lead. It's a battle for second and third.
Yeah, Chadwick side by side with Wood for that runner-up spot as Cisco is getting gone already after lap number 1. 3 or 4 car lengths out front as we have trouble. Guys, one car spins to the infield while running in the 6th spot. That might be Richie Coy. And Bergenti is the car that goes around as well.
Yeah, Coy involved, Bergenti. Right now, though, we're back under caution. Let's take a look at what happened, though, on this replay.
It broke loose early. It involved a couple of cars. Coy, Bergenti, Russo, I believe, involved in the incident in turn number 1. Oh, Pasacco, first car to get sideways. That stacked them up. Coy goes around. Pasacco goes around. It's car number 3. 6-time Stafford late model champion. Struggling early on in tonight's Tour Type Modified feature event.
Yeah, you really hate to see that, but an early struggle. He came over the driver's chat and reminded him, hey, it's lap 2. He was talking to everyone there, but reminded them all, it's lap 2. We don't need to get crazy. Right now, though, he's going to take a trip down pit road and get some damage repaired.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the right side of that car, currently being scored 24th. The first car not on the lead lap, and it looks like he's going to lose a lap potentially here as the field comes by. Again, caution laps do count. Working lap number 5. Working lap number 6 right now. Lap 5 complete. Just a lap and a half of green flag racing. Ryan Libby also toward the back there in that scuffle. Justin Williams. But Richie Coy and Ryan Pasacco, along with Brian Bergenti, the 3 cars that really got the most damage. Pasacco, the most of those 3, still on pit road.
If you're following along with the YouTube chat, you might see that Stafford Speedway has just said we'll have some more races in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Everyone get excited about that, because I know I sure am. We've got more of this coming, but right here tonight, the top 5 are trying to advance into Friday night's feature. This event put on by the Horton Group. Right now, Kyle Cisco sits in the lead, Tyler Chadwick in second, Tyler Wood in third. They're getting ready to come back to the green flag. Lights on the pace car are off, and they're ready to go back racing.
And again, StaffordSpeedway.com or all the social channels. Stafford's on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. Follow along there as well, as those announcements will no doubt be made here in the coming days and weeks. Set to go back to racing. Pasacco still on pit road as Kyle Cisco to go off to turn 4. They're about 4 wide for the 6th spot as they race to turn 1. And somehow they all made it, straightened out, and have hit the back straightaway. Kyle Casagrande, it looks like Corey Casagrande right in the middle. That's Kyle.
Oh, big wreck into turn 3. That wraps up at least 5 or 6 cars. Involved in that was a bottom shot move on lap 7. Steven Daddio got turned by Aaron Plemons. That puts the 45 into the back bumper of the 67, and just sort of a train wreck from there. Wow, that's a big wreck here on lap 7.
A high-speed train wreck. Let's see what happened there. As I had my eye on Kyle Casagrande right in the middle of it all, and then it happened just ahead of him. That looks like that was Plemons' first car to go around, and then they stacked up from there on back. You mentioned 5 or 6 cars involved. Hovey in that blue and orange car to the top side in car number 16. Looked like he has some damage, but everybody able to, I think, pull away from the incident over in turn 3. Kramer's on pit road. Plemons is on pit road. Hovey is on pit road. Anthony Bello also on the pit lane. And Sean Okula. So it looked like we're going to lose about 5 or 6 cars in that event, in that wreck. And this is also, you know, we talk about a lot of yellow early on, a lot of green flag late. We're going to get a lot of that green flag late because right now there's only 18 cars left on the racetrack from the original 25 starters.
So I guess this means that last week it wasn't my fault when the cautions kept happening.
Still blame
Because
you.
now we're having the same thing tonight. Right, yeah. Well, that's the easy way out, isn't it? But right now, though, hopefully we'll see some green flag racing here soon. We're on lap 10 and 8th of the way there. That is, I'm doing the math in my head, 12.5% of the way through this race, and I'm really hoping that's correct. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a very bad engineer.
You're an engineer?
I am an engineer, yeah. My parents say the same thing. They said, you're going to school at Purdue University for engineering, which is great, and you want to go into broadcasting. How did you come up with that? And my response is, I don't know, but I get paid to talk, so that's a pretty cool way to look at it, I guess.
Indeed, and no doubt. I didn't go to school for engineering. I went for broadcasting, and I also get paid to talk. So it's kind of worked out for the both of us, especially on these Wednesday and Friday night events. I want to thank Stafford Speedway, the Arut family, for including us in these broadcasts. They have been fun to do. We hope you're enjoying them. Something different, something to take you away from all the newscasts that aren't exactly full of good news right now. However, things are getting better, and I am optimistic about what is to come here in the couple of weeks. Field doubled up. We're set to go back to green. We'll try it again. Hopefully, third time is a charm here. Kyle Cisco, Tyler Wood on the front row. Then it's Tyler Chadwick and Steve Daddio in row number 2.
Maybe as an incentive for these drivers, how about this? I'm going to start talking about my thermodynamics final from earlier today if we get another caution. So hopefully we can keep it green, and that's for everybody's sake because it bores me to tears as well. Coming off turn 4 is something that doesn't bore me to tears, and that is very fast race cars. Kyle Cisco, the fastest one so far, leads the way down into turn 1. A little bit of contact back there. They're 3 wide coming off turn 2. Casa Grande on top. But they all make it work. Tessier makes it work the best down there on the bottom. Got Jason Perkins right behind him. They're both rolling down low, passing John Andretti. And right there, a little bit of contact. Everyone keeps it going straight. Cisco still out front. Fastest lap to Tyler Wood.
Yeah, good run from Mason Tessier here tonight as we go on board off of turn number 2 with Kyle Casagrande. In a good battle there for position a little deeper in the field. Jason Perkins, it looks like, to his outside. Casagrande to the bottom. Now they're 3 wide further back. Will they make the corner? Looks like they do, just outside of the top 10 there. As everybody, great view, I love it. As the car goes spinning up the back straightaway. Looks like Abatello goes for a ride. Gets punted off of turn 2. Minimal damage, if any, but will fall to the tail end of the field as we go back to the front of the field. And the battle for the lead tightening up between Cisco and Wood.
Take a look at how these cars get through the corner. Everyone's running just about the same line, but if you look real close, there's a little bit of deviation. Tyler Wood a little bit lower on the track in 3 and 4 than Cisco is, and Cisco right there diving it hard into turn 1 and letting it carry itself up the track before finishing off the diamond turn here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Cut it down low on exit and bring it back out to the wall. He is just putting down some fantastic laps. An 18.321, that's his second 18.321 in a row. 2 identical laps here in the race. How can you beat that?
Consistency is everything, especially when you're at the front of the field. You want to stay consistent. You also want to manage your tires. Tire wear might be an issue as we get later into this race as well. 80 laps a long distance for the Tour Type Modifieds, coming up on the 1/4 mark. 20 of those 80 about to be completed. Kyle Cisco, the leader. Tyler Wood, then it's going to be on board now with Daddio a little further back. He runs in 4th, trying to close in on Tyler Chadwick, but as you can see from his onboard shot, the top 3 have been able to draw away at the front of the field. Daddio leads the second pack, including Mason Tessier, who is just behind him in 5th. Mason has been strong on these Wednesday night events as well.
He certainly has. He's gone from 16th all the way up to 5th with the battle right now for 4th. Keep an eye. Let's go and look inside of his car right here as he tries to make it work. He doesn't need to make any crazy moves here on Daddio. He just needs to cruise around behind, take advantage of the opportunity that is sure to come. He's quicker than that 41, but Tessier's a very patient driver. He knows when to push the issue and when to just ride around for a few laps. And it looks like right now he's happy with 5th, but he's not going to let Daddio get away.
Happy with 5th, but staying within striking distance of Steven Daddio in the 4th spot. However, Tessier doesn't want Daddio to hold him up too much because those top 3 are beginning to draw away again with Disco, Wood, and Chadwick. 1, 2, 3 as they race by going into turn 3. Then that gap back to the battle for 4th between Daddio and Tessier. Then a little bit of a gap, a few more car lengths back to Kyle Casagrande. Nice rebound for Kyle. He is up to 6th.
A couple drivers have struggled here, though, tonight, but one person doing well, Jason Perkins, has raced his way up through the field, and he just dodges a wreck. Man, the commentator's curse strikes again as just in front of him, Jason Perkins, just in front of Jason Perkins, the 15 of Gerard Giordano gets tagged by Ryan Burgundy, goes around there. Man, what a great job avoiding all that action there by everyone behind.
I didn't see it live. I saw Gerard Giordano's name, though, go from toward the top of the running order to the back of the running order pretty quick, and we're going to see why right here. It looked like he just lost it all by himself in turn number 2. If there was contact, there wasn't much.
Yeah, just a tiny touch of the back bumper is all it takes. Right now, a lot of cars coming down pit road. Maybe get some tires, but they don't need any fuel here. They've got enough to make it to the end. We are 26 laps into this event. It's a great race so far.
John Andrade pitting from position number 5. So is he taking tires to maybe position himself to have some fresher rubber when we get to the tail end of this event? Richie Coy is on pit road. Brian Kramer, Tyler Alkis is on the pit lane. That'll shuffle the deck. You see Ryan Pisacco heading back out onto the racetrack. Kyle Sisko maintains the race lead. Andrade heads back onto the racetrack. One of a handful of cars that made a stop. Tyler Wood still second. Tyler Chadwick third. Then Daddio and Tessier now up and into the top 5, the big gainer of this race.
Someone that started a little bit further back was Sean Ross back there in 11th, got involved in an earlier wreck, fell all the way back to 20th, now up to 13th, making something happen here. Everybody, though, racing really well. A very clean race for what it's worth so far. Our 3rd caution in 27 laps, but we're hoping for a long green flag run here to see how the tires wear out.
27 of 80 laps as we go on board here in a moment with Steven Daddio running in 5th. A lot of cars still on the pit lane as Daddio kind of cruising right now in position number 4.
So, the reason we're on board here with Daddio right now is I saw over in the chat that people want to know more about these cars. The biggest thing is look how little that you can see. Taking a look around, you have that A-post right in the middle. You have the engine right in front of you. Very difficult to see, hard to gauge distance. Look at how wide the tires are as well. 15 inches these tires are. Very big, slick tires. Very powerful cars as well, about 600 horsepower. And you get the bare minimum there on the dashboard ahead of you. You have your temperature, the voltage, your odometer, or not odometer, excuse me, your tachometer. You have your water and oil temps. Minimal car, very lightweight, very, very quick. So for everyone asking out there in chat for some of the specifications of these cars, over 600 horsepower, the same chassis as the SK Modifieds, 2 gears, only 2 gears, so you don't use too much brake in these things. You let off, you maybe get on the brakes a little bit and get going. And speaking of getting going, up near the front, Kyle Sisko is gone as he has taken the lead over Tyler Wood. Tyler Chadwick now sitting in 3rd. The Tyler and Tyler show is about to heat up as they're going to start battling for position very soon. Steven Daddio sits back there in 4th, and Tessier now side by side with Casagrande for 5th.
Rocket ships on wheels as they come back off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 31. Casagrande and Tessier, best battle on the racetrack for the 5th spot. Tessier has the position to the inside, but Giordano looks like goes around again toward the tail end of the field. 2nd consecutive incident for that number 15 car. Spun it by himself earlier, and it looked like he may have spun it by himself again in that Red Bull entry.
Yeah, a little bit of contact, and that is something called netcode here on iRacing. iRacing is very, very realistic, but it's not perfect. You know, sometimes it thinks a car is a couple inches further to the right than it actually is, And that's where you see where it looks like one car gets hit and sent around without them actually touching. That's something called netcode. As perfect as iRacing can try to be, sometimes that just slips through, and that's what happened there. Giordano gets sent around. Wasn't any actual contact, but very small glitch here on iRacing sends him around, unfortunately.
It's like my GPS in a big city when there's all these different roads and it thinks you're on one road and you're not on another road. And I guess it's kind of sort of similar, no?
That's
A
essentially
small,
exactly it.
it's kind of just a small little glitch. Nothing's perfect. And there are several times where I'm traveling with MRN and I end up going in the wrong direction because of it. So it happens.
It absolutely does, and when you think about it, when it's keeping track of 25 cars right now on track all at the same time, if
It's a
it
lot of
thinks
data.
one car, right, it's a lot of data to process and distribute to every driver out there. Everyone's seeing the same thing and processing it on their own computers. If it thinks a car is a couple inches one way or the other every so often on very rare occasions, man, you got to give him credit. It's not that bad, but unfortunately, Giordano right there is very frustrated, I'm sure, because it's one of those things where it just happens and there's nothing you can do about it.
Another quick shout out to the Horton Group, the proud sponsor of tonight's fan event here at the virtual Stafford Motor Speedway. And again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to tonight's race program. The top 5 will transfer into Friday night's event, which will include all the real world drivers from the Stafford Motor Speedway. And as we continue under caution, I want to mention and thank again Kenny for his participation in this program. Kenny Horton, founded in 2000, award-winning full-service construction, general contracting, and facilities maintenance firm specializing in developing and building a variety of projects in residential and commercial sectors. See them online at HortonGroupLLC.com.
We hope you will support all of the sponsors that support us for everything we do. Some of our other sponsors for this event here tonight include companies such as Napa Auto Parts, Dunleavy Truck and Trailer Repair, Midstate Site Development, Call Before You Dig, Lincoln Technical Institute, Spark Virtual Reality, and Maybury Material Handling. All track sponsors for us. We hope you support the people that support us, because without them, we'd have some very boring Wednesday and Friday nights here during this quarantine. So support the people that supported us. Let them know that you appreciate their support of Stafford. Right now, though, they're going to go one more lap around here. Something wasn't quite right with the lineup. Race control wasn't happy. So they'll go one more lap around before taking the green flag.
Thought it might have been a good strategy move. I'm assuming it was a strategy move. Guys like Richie Coy, John Andre III, coming in to take tires a couple of laps ago. But again, the more we run under caution, the less laps they're going to have to use those tires. So we'll see, like you mentioned, hopefully string together some green flag laps here. Ryan Briganti back there, Richie Coy. A lot of big names outside of the top 12 right now, looking to make their way to the front as we're set for the restart.
A little bit of a checkup towards the middle of the field involves Sean Ross, but up at the front, Kyle Sisko once again blasting off away from everybody else. That jet plane he's flying right now is awfully quick. He's got 10 car lengths over second place, and Tyler Chadwick is going to put the pressure on Tyler Wood to try and get that second spot away and run down Kyle Sisko, but nobody's had much luck of that here tonight. We're coming to halfway at the line. 80 laps to go in this, 80 laps total in this race, about 40 more to go.
Mason Tessier gains another spot, car number 42. He is up to the 4th position, moving around Stephen Daddio a moment ago. The 4th car on your screen, 3rd car in the 2nd group. There's Kyle Sisko right now in a group all by himself. He is gone at the front of the field, 7/10 of a second advantage over this great battle for second, involving Tyler Wood, Tyler Chadwick, Mason Tessier, Stephen Daddio in that battle as well, as we go under the caution once again for the 4th time.
Dominic in the 20 car involved in that
Abatello?
last wreck. Yeah, Dominic Abatiello, excuse me there, involved in that wreck. Look at the replay here going into turn 1. Everything looks good. Let's see what happens here. Oh, in front of him. Man, that 15 involved in another wreck. Little late to the party there. Just drives the front end in. Might have some front end damage.
Tell you what, that's what the third wreck for the 15 of Gerard Giordano. He has struggled here tonight in that number 15 entry. Two spins in turn one, and now the third incident. That proved to damage that car, although still on the racetrack and still on the lead lap, running in the 18th position. He has yet to hit the pit lane. I assume he will have to. Andrade back on the pit lane. Richie Coy, Brian Kramer, Abatiello on pit road as well. Those cars still running, I believe, on the lead lap. There are 15 cars on the lead lap that have stayed on the racetrack.
Everyone right now doing everything they can to gain the track position. We've seen how important it is in weeks past. And right now, we see a lot of guys who have moved up through the field. 16th to 4th is Mason Tessier. How about 17th to 6th, Ryan Libby? Kyle Casagrande from 10th to 7th. Justin Williams, 24th to 8th. Jason Perkins, 18th to 9th. Anthony Bello, 22nd all the way up to 10th. A lot of big movers through this field here, making it happen. That's some very impressive stats here to make a lot of passes here at Stafford Motor Speedway.
To remind you of last week's drivers that transferred from the Wednesday night program into Friday night, Regan Parent, that is, Richie Coy, Tyler Wood, Aaron Plemons, and Stephen Daddio. So those are the 5 from a week ago, and some of those names, like Tessier and Daddio, in a transfer spot right now, along with Tyler Wood. So 3 of the 5 right now back in the top 5. Richie Coy deeper in the field. He has had his struggles here tonight in 17th. And Aaron Plemons involved in an early race altercation on lap number 1 in the 24th spot and out of the race some 35 laps down.
And that's so incredibly frustrating when you register for these events, you put in the time practicing, and it just all goes downhill right at the beginning. Very frustrating for these drivers, but they always make sure to come on back, try again next week, and we hope to see that here soon. But the top 5 are going to have their chance to race in the Friday night's event, try and race their way in on Friday night. Person sitting on the outside looking in, though, Ryan Libby, doing everything he can to gain one more position, but he's got to pass Stephen Daddio if he wants that 5th transfer spot. Right now, they're coming back to green. The inside line takes off, absolutely flying. And here comes Casagrande towards the tail end, trying to make something happen, but it is a scrum right now for 1st through 5th.
As Cisco again gets gone at the front of the field. Chadwick now up to 2nd. Wood back to 3rd. Here comes Mason Tessier again. He is on the march off of turn number 4. Picks up another spot from outside of the top 15, 47 laps ago. He is up to 3rd. Tyler Wood back to 4th. And Kyle Casagrande moving into the top. He was 5th. Now he's 5th. He's in the battle with Daddio for that spot. They're locked up side by side.
Great battling going on. Take a look now. Casagrande looking to the inside. A little bit of trouble further back. Everyone manages to make it work one way or another. Everybody wants another position here. Casagrande, though, fighting his way tooth and nail. Not making many friends because nobody likes getting past, but doing everything he needs to do. Right now, though, a 3-way battle for 5th. Trying to make it happen. Where did Jason Perkins come from? Now up fighting for 5th here.
He's in the 7th spot. Make that 7th, 8th position. Libby's in that battle. Perkins up the racetrack. Good run for Ryan Libby on the bottom of that purple car. We got one car upside down on the front straightaway. Rode the wall for a little bit. And it looks like it's Adam Kutu on his roof heading into turn number 1. And one other car, maybe 2, get collected. And that'll put us under the caution flag here as we'll get a look at see what happens. Still about a half a lap away from the start of the incident. That's Jacob Kutu on the back straightaway, now through turn number 4 in car 39.
It's a little bit loose, man. Just to hold on to it, kind of, sort of. 93 as Sean Ross goes on his lid. Man, he managed to slide all the way down the front stretch on his lid.
Well, halfway down the front stretch.
Yeah, about half, but that's, you hate to see it. He was having a good run here tonight after rebounding from a rough beginning. You hate to see it, but that engine is blown up. He's done for the night.
Sean Ross tumbles to wrap up his night here. Motor blown is on pit road. We are really beginning to thin the herd. I see 12, maybe 13 cars on the racetrack, several on pit lane, fixing damage. Richie Coy, Brian Kramer, Jacob Kutu, who was involved in that incident, Sean Ross, who was involved in that incident as well, all on the pit lane. A lot of cars out of the race as well. There are 12 that seem like they're in I guess, decent shape. Kyle Sisko, the leader's been in perfect shape all night in the first 53 laps of this race. Tyler Chadwick, Mason Tessier has had a near perfect night as well, starting deep in the field. He's up to third. Tyler Wood fourth. Steven Daddio fifth. Then we'll bring you back through at least the top 10. Kyle Casagrande, Ryan Libby, Jason Perkins, Justin Williams, and Anthony Bello. Everybody from there on back, Jeff, I think has had one issue or another here tonight. At least one. Some multiple issues.
Yeah, it's been a rough night for some of these drivers out here, and there's been a lot of wrecks. I remember I said earlier that if there was another caution, I would unfortunately have to talk about my thermodynamics exam that I took earlier today. So these guys have now caused another caution. Unfortunately, we're going to have to now discuss compression ratios in diesel engines, as well as the Otto cycle, Rankine cycle, things of that nature. This is what has been brought on to these drivers by causing another caution here on lap 54 now of 80.
Some interesting stuff there, Jeff. No doubt.
Fascinating. Yeah, actually, you know what's interesting? I have 3 exams to take today: thermodynamics, physics, and fluid power. You know what's interesting about all 3 of those topics?
Tell me, Jeff.
Nothing. There is nothing in those 3 topics that interests me enough to take a final exam on them and enjoy it. But I got through 2 of them so far. The fluid power exam, I'm going to have to end up taking it around 11 p.m. tonight. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for it. So this is what we now have here. We also have single file restarts, which is going to take place right now. Coming off turn 4 is Kyle Sisko, your leader. Put Tyler Chadwick to second, Mason Tessier back to third. Single file now in hopes of some more green flag racing here. Lap 56 is now starting.
About 35 laps to run in this main event for the Tour Type Modifieds. Running for the fans tonight in the Horton Group. As we go back under the green flag, Sisko leads into the back straightaway. He's already been able to break away by a couple of car lengths over Tyler Chadwick. Tessier hanging tight for now in third. Tyler Wood in fourth. And Steven Daddio rounding out the top 5. Ooh, close moment there off of turn number 4. Involving Ryan Libby, that purple car I thought was going to get turned by Casagrande, but they're okay as they get back in the line.
Taking a ride along with Casagrande now. He sees the back end of the 46, step out a little bit, gets a little bit closer, but not quite enough now to get a run. He doesn't have much room behind him, though. That's Jason Perkins, about 2 car lengths back. Casagrande is getting some fantastic runs off the corner, but losing ground on corner entry. He has to be careful not to open the door for Perkins to get a run. But now, up to that back bumper, Libby dives it to the bottom. He's going to have a good run here going into turn 1. He's got the preferred line.
And Libby opened the door. Casagrande goes to the bottom and will take the spot away. That is the battle for position number 6. So still one outside of a transfer spot into Friday night's big show is Kyle Casagrande. That final 5th and final spot being held right now by Steven Daddio.
Right now, a battle up here. Tessier trying to hold off everybody else. A battle for third right here. Shaping up Tyler Wood. Oh no, Tessier gets a little bit loose. Daddio now to the outside has a run. You don't hear that too often at Stafford, but Tessier holding on to that bottom. Opens the door for Casagrande now to try to get to the inside of the 41. Let's see what he's able to do. He decides to check up, not make a big dive bomb move, but that is a very big 4-car scrum. Trying now. Oh, Daddio into the wall. Oh my goodness, it is mayhem back there.
Now Libby slides up the racetrack. Casagrande as we go on board with Kyle in that number 33 car, looking to the inside of Daddio. That is the battle for the 5th and final transfer spot into Friday night's big show for Daddio, who has it. Casagrande wants it. Libby is there as well. Then have a bit of a gap back to Perkins. Gets a run on the bottom, but Daddio right now has that high side momentum off of turn 2 and hangs on to the spot.
Horton is out here on lap 64. Bello was involved in that wreck, so he's now further back. Put him back to 13th last I saw. But take a look at the replay. Coming off turn 4 right now. A little bit loose there, man. Just hold on to it. Dives it hard into turn 1. All 4 tires on the apron. Coming off the corner. Just steps out on him. Man, too much power, not enough tire to keep that car from going around. Let's do a quick onboard, though, and check it out from his perspective.
On board with Anthony Bello, out of shape off of turn number 2. Looked like he was halfway up. Now that was off of turn 2, and he overcorrected. Car got loose, and he could not regain control of it. Spinning into turn 3, not a lot of damage, but he will fall deep in the running order. In fact, he's on the pit lane now in position number 14.
Up till at the front is Kyle Cisco leading the way. He started in first. He stayed in first. I'm pretty sure he's led every single lap so far, having himself a fantastic night. Is that 62 machine? 65 laps in the book, though, now 66. Gonna come back and just gonna be about 10 laps to go in this event. Let's see what he's got. If he can hold on for the last 10 laps or so, 80 laps here to tell the story and try and advance into the race. Only the top 5 will.
Ryan Pasacco, it looks like getting the free pass. And really weird for me. I was able to announce a lot of Ryan's late model races back in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s, and it has been a while since I have announced Ryan Pasacco's name. His last championship coming, I believe, 9 years ago in 2011. And he hasn't been running at the track in quite some time, at least on a regular basis. So good to see Ryan in the field here tonight, although early race troubles has him multiple laps down, but still out there, still having fun here this evening in a tour-type modified, running in the 16th position.
He is, and that's what this event is all about, is seeing drivers out here having fun. It's great when they get to advance, but at the end of the day, it's all about just having fun and enjoying the race.
You were saying earlier, Jeff, that they were frustrated.
Yeah. They were frustrated, but you can be frustrated and have fun at the same time, I think. That's what we have certain things in life for, where you are equally parts frustrated, yet enjoying it. You hate to love it.
There you go. Well said. As we are down to it. Wow, we're already at 67 laps into this event. It's going to be about 11 or 12 laps to go when we go back under the green flag. Cisco looking for the win. Daddio right now in the 5th spot and on the bubble as far as drivers that will move into Friday night's race program. Kyle Casagrande needs 1 spot to advance. Ryan Libby needs 2. We are set for the restart. Pace car to pit road.
Right now, we're going to let this audio tell the story. We're going to be quiet here. We're going to crank it up, though, for this restart. That is something that's been being worked on behind the scenes at GSRC for a couple weeks now, and I gotta say, that is awesome, awesome stuff. There is nothing like the sound of these cars going around a short track like this. Stafford Speedway, a legendary track, and Kyle Cisco seems to have figured something out here. The top 5 are going to advance to Friday night's race. We got 8 laps to go here.
Change during those laps around the racetrack where we really got to listen to a tour modified, a full field of them here at Stafford Speedway. Cisco still leads, Chadwick, Wood, Tessier, and Stephen Daddio in the top 5. Kyle Casagrande needing that 1 spot in the orange and black number 7, racing into turn 1 right there. And while he's trying to gain the spot on Daddio, he's trying to fend off a challenge from the purple 46 of Ryan Libby as they race back into turn 3 laps, winding down, 6 to go.
6 laps to go in this event. Cisco has been dominant the whole night. He's got 7/10 of a second over Tyler Chadwick already. Tyler Wood now sitting in third, a couple of car lengths behind Chadwick. Both of them solidly locked in unless some major mistake happens by one of them. Mason Tessier sitting in fourth, Steven Daddio in fifth. Like you said, though, he's got a challenge from behind for Casagrande, and man, that's forming up awfully quickly there. We know Casagrande is going to do everything he can to get that final transfer spot. We'll have to see what's coming in the next couple laps. We're at about 4 laps to go.
They are stacked and packed from about 4th on back, led by
Caution.
Mason Tessier as the caution flag comes out. There's a look at the Casagrande car. As we were just really getting at it from 4th on back, 2 would have advanced, 2 would have missed, and we have a spin in turn number 3 that puts us under the caution flag. So we're just going to have a couple of laps here to settle it as we get a look at what happened there in turn number 3.
Well, there's a reason we call it the Bottom Shot Podcast. That is a bottom shot gone wrong. Sean Akula gets into the 19 of Richie Coy. Very good looking black and orange car there for Coy, I must say. That's a fantastic car. But he gets sent around there with just a couple laps to go. That brings us to my 3 favorite words, green, white, checkered. Going to be a fantastic finish here. Couple laps to determine who the winner's going to be. Let's see if someone's got anything for Kyle Cisco. He's been awfully quick, but right now he might have a little bit of a challenge with the green, white, checkered.
We're not going to copy Matt and Ben and say those 3 words together, right? We're going to leave that to them for Friday night racing in the real announcer's booth at Stafford Motor Speedway.
I was going to say, I live out in Indiana in the cornfields. I'm a big fan of corny things, as you can tell. So why don't we do that? The green, white, checkered together. But no, apparently not. You're not a big fan of it.
I'm a big fan of it. I'm just not doing it with you tonight. No offense.
Oh, yeah, sure. None taken. How would I be offended by something like that? Oh, I like it, but I'm not going to do it with you. No way.
Want to thank the
always
Horton
a
Group.
fun time.
It is. We're having a good time here tonight. Something different on this Wednesday night, and for 5 of these drivers, they will be part of our Friday night program as well. The Horton Group, again, providing all the sponsorship here tonight. I want to thank Kenny Horton and all of his folks for their sponsorship here this evening. Kenny, a longtime competitor at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Kyle Cisco leads the way, and that also, no surprise, as he is the race leader and has led all the laps thus far. 79 officially complete. We will not, of course, end under caution. As Jeff mentioned, it will be a green, white, checkered finish. Tyler Chadwick, Tyler Wood, Mason Tessier, and Steven Daddio, the top 5.
I thought you were going for it right there when you said green, white, checkered. I didn't jump in time. Darn.
Caught you off guard.
Ah, really? Yeah, we're not up in the booth together. We can't do the visual cues. No, we're stuck in completely different parts of the country at the moment. But that's the magic of the internet. That's the magic of iRacing. We get to bring this show to all of you tuning in. It's a great night here so far, and man, this makes me even more excited for Friday night. It's going to be a great show.
Buckler would have been ready, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh,
Get one to go.
That's why he's in the booth. That's why he's in the booth, and I'm just down on pit road. I understand.
1 to go, 2-lap shootout, the first attempt. I think this is, it's going to be the first attempt at a green, white, checkered finish. Kyle Cisco, Tyler Chadwick, Tyler Wood, Mason Tessier, Steven Daddio, the top 5. That has not changed the last 15 or 20 laps. First driver outside looking in, Kyle Casagrande. Then it's Ryan Libby, Justin Williams, Ryan Briganti, Jason Perkins, as we're set for the restart off turn 4.
Coming off turn 4, Cisco absolutely flexing his muscles. Very, very quick there. Now Tyler Chadwick up to second with Tyler Wood right on his back bumper trying to make something happen. White flag is in the air though. Cisco takes it. The next flag will end this race.
No hiccups for Kyle Cisco there as he gets the white flag. 1 lap to go over Tyler Chadwick in second. The battle could be for fifth with Daddio and Casagrande, as the race for the win is all going to be Kyle Sisko in turn 4, Jeff.
Kyle Sisko comes to the line. Looks like he's going to win this race. Tyler Chadwick in second. Tyler Wood in third. Tessier in fourth. Stephen Daddio finishes fifth. That's the final transfer spot. Just outside, Kyle Casagrande, Ryan Libby, Justin Williams, Ryan Burgundy, and Anthony Bello round out your top 10. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to go through the whole field here and talk to some of our top 3 drivers. Welcome back here. We just finished up 80 laps in the tour mods at Stafford Motor Speedway. We were mean to these drivers this week. We gave them a setup that was difficult to drive, but they put on a fantastic show. Right now, your top 3, Kyle Sisko, Tyler Chadwick, and Tyler Wood. We're going to try and wrangle them up for an interview, but rounding out the top 10, Mason Tessier will advance, Stephen Daddio will advance. The rest of the names listed here will not. Kyle Casagrande, Ryan Libby, Justin Williams, Ryan Burgundy, and Anthony Bello round out your top 10.
Solid field finish there, all separated by 3 seconds. Richie Coy had his ups and downs tonight, finishing in 11th. Then it's Brian Kramer, Adam Kutu, John Anderade was on pit road a number of times. Jason Perkins as well in 15th. Good run by Ryan Pisacco. Good to see him out on the racetrack. Sean Okula, Jacob Kutu, Sean Ross, and Gerard Giordano. He had his struggles tonight as well, I believe, in 3 separate incidents early on.
Finishing 21st, Nicholas Hovey. 22nd, Dominic Aviatello. Tyler Alkis brings it home 23rd. Aaron Plemons 24th. And rounding out the field, 83 laps down, was Ray Fataruso, involved in a lap 1 incident. Unfortunate to see that, but right now we are going back up to the top 3. The top 5 advanced. Remember, Kyle Sisko, Tyler Chadwick, Tyler Wood, Mason Tessier, Steven Daddio, all advance here tonight, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to join us for a post-race interview. I think Tom Fox, our tech director, has pulled them aside. I think they're checking keyboards, mice, steering wheels, and I think it was the power supply for the computers is what was being checked tonight. So far, no word on if they've passed or failed, but no news is good news for that means. So, Kyle, what do you think of this race here tonight? Just your final thoughts on this event we saw here tonight. What are you expecting for Friday?
Yeah, maybe we'll get to talk to some of these guys if we don't get to talk to them tonight on Friday night because they do a transfer. I can't wait for the Tour Modifieds. I know there's been a lot of social media buzz among the real world Tour type modified drivers and the real world Stafford drivers that have been practicing all week in a Tour type modified. A great field set for Friday evening. Can't wait. 7 o'clock Eastern time, Stafford's YouTube channel, right to where you are now. 48 hours from now, same format. It's going to be fun. I mean, I enjoyed the SK modified races to start this series, the first 4 weeks, and late models were great last week. The street stocks were great 2 weeks ago, but a lot of buzz around this Tour type modified race come Friday.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic event, and you can catch it all here Friday night. But wrapping up for tonight, thank you to the Horton Group for sponsoring this event here tonight. Thank you for Stafford Speedway and Paula Root, especially for organizing this whole this whole league on pretty short notice here. And thank you to the team today, myself, Jeff McConey, Kyle Rickey, Sean Ambrose, and Dougie Beard. Thank you to the companies as well that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast. It's listed right here on your screen. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. You can see the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Be sure to shoot a follow on Twitter to stay up to date. If you'd like to find out more about the Global Sim Racing channel, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Don't forget to head on over to the GSRC YouTube page and hit that big red subscribe button if you haven't already so that you don't miss a moment on the Global Sim Racing channel. The next race is this Friday, just 2 days from now, 48 hours. It's going to be the Tour Mods there with Stafford's regular drivers and the 5 that transferred from tonight. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. On behalf of everyone here at the Global Sim Racing channel and the Arute family, good night, everybody.